All right, hey everybody, and welcome to the 90-minute art challenge. I'm your host Bobby Chu, and I also have on here my co-host Masei Seki. All right, and today's guest. Let's get to today's guest. Oh my goodness, Fernando Mendez. Holy smokes, where has he been hiding all his life? Because this was such an amazing discovery to find this person, not this person, but this artist that drew this person that we're seeing. Holy smokes. Look at that. That's genius. That is genius right there. And then, everybody's favorite 100-year-old person, uh, and all sorts. So definitely, before you forget, right stinking now, follow Fernandez on Instagram. You can also find his details in the details of the video today on YouTube. Okay. So the next thing here. Oh shoot! I got. Hold on. Where's Fernando? Oh, there you go. There's Fernando. And the other thing is, what is the 90-minute art challenge? Okay, so the 90-minute art challenge is every 90-minute art challenge, we put up a new subject. Okay, you could search up the subject by going to tumblr.com, hashtag, or search for 90-min art challenge, and then you'll find this. Today's beautiful subject is the one and only Keanu Reeves. Yeah! After you're done the 90-minute art challenge, you could upload it to Instagram, hashtag it 90-min art challenge. You can see that there's thousands on here, and every 90-minute art challenge, we spotlight a few of them. So here's the few that I kind of picked out here. Well, this one looks blank. Let's refresh and try to... Okay, we'll go back to these. I guess I have a lot of things open here, but some really beautiful stuff. We could see some thumbnails already. This one is very nice. This one as well. Let's see if we can open these up. Boom. Right? That one's lovely. This one, a great one as well. There's so many. This one. This one is funny. This was like combined 4 images together to make one concept, and that was really fun. So there's some really good ones here, really good ones, and you could see all of them. Oh, look at this one. This one's just an eye. So you don't have to just stick to the whole entire subject. You could just stick to an eye if you wanted to, and so many more. So definitely come and check them out on Instagram, hashtag 90-min art challenge. Leave a nice comment, leave a like, do a follow. It's a wonderful community. All right, so let's now go to, where am I at here? There we go. Video. All right, so Fernando is on the top right-hand corner. Masei, I believe, yeah, you're on the bottom opposite corner of the reference, and I'm just below the reference. And everybody, we have 90 minutes to complete your illustration, your drawing, your painting, whatever you like. Fernando, are you a fan of Keanu Reeves? Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. For me, I've loved so many Keanu Reeves movies. Maybe I'm just that age. But yeah, there's been a lot. Speed was the first time I was like, who is this guy? He's so good. Yay! Also, also, Right now might be a good time to switch over to Discord. Is that cool with everybody? Is that cool with Fernando? We could just mute Zoom and then we'll unmute Discord. All right, let's do it. I hope that was okay, Masay. I think you were trying to say something. I was like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh,
in
shoot.
the YouTube chat, they were just saying that Fernando's muted, but I think
Okay.
Ahí estoy ya
All
en
right,
Discord.
here we go. All right, so you guys are on now. The audio is going. We're all on Discord together. Say hi, everybody. Uh,
Hello. Hello.
okay,
Hello.
perfect. All right, so now Fernando is not muted. He was just mentioning that ever since The Matrix, he's liked Keanu Reeves. So this one is, it seems simple. It seems simple. It seems like a monochromatic image, mostly blues, with just like a touch of a pinky, orangey kind of tone, which is Keanu's face, and then a little bit of blood. Right, but what did we all kind of find difficult with this one? Maybe that will help out people as they're painting. Like for me, the head was just really small, and so it's harder to get the likeness because I had less room to work with, I think.
for me, it was I've been painting a lot of like stronger light sources, and so when it's like an overcast lighting like this, I found it a bit more challenging, but nonetheless, it was pretty fun and a good challenge.
Yeah, mine currently looks like almost like Tiger King in a suit. But what about Fernando? Did you find anything challenging with this? Perhaps that can help people as they paint. Something to think about.
Sí, siempre cada rostro tiene su dificultad. En este caso, la foto quizás no era la más distintiva de él.
Yeah, in every case, a lot of pictures have its own complexities. In this case, this picture, and Fernando, can you repeat the last part? The smaller face.
Sí, que quizás esta foto no era el ángulo, no es el más distintivo, lo reconoces por la barba y el traje.
This picture specifically wasn't the most distinctive. He has some features that are more recognizable as him, like his hair and beard, but usually it's more of a plain image of things.
Because the overcast. Yeah, that was the silent but deadly challenge here. Also, not sure what's happening with. I think maybe Fernando, if you could mute your Zoom as well.
Okay.
Yeah, right now your Zoom is coming in at the same time. Perfect. And in case everybody's wondering, what are you talking about Discord? What's this Discord thing? Discord! Lightbox Expo Discord channel. This is it. If you go to bit.ly/LBX Discord, you could join us every week or all the time. Now it's like there's always somebody in here painting and drawing, things like that. It's all about encouragement. It's all about positivity. It's all about a nice, genuinely nice community that likes to share and likes to help each other out. What a concept. So why don't we go into the Discord channel right now, and you can see that there's actually a bunch of people painting and drawing Keanu in their many different ways. So cool. Not only that, but I wanted to mention something here, and I'll try to be as brief as possible, but it was a really special weekend. Thanks to everybody in Discord, all the mods really helped out. And what am I talking about here? I'm talking about the Holly Jolly Paint-a-thon that happened on Discord. Starting on Friday, ending on Saturday. It was 24 hours, and people, got together and formed groups. You could see like Holly Jolly looking for groups, so people would go in there and find their groups and start creating their groups. And then we would give them a theme, and they would have 24 hours to get it together. And what was that theme? The theme was winter lights, right? So if you look up hashtag LBX Paintathon on Instagram, you'll see all of the awesome entries that people created. And by the way, this is not one person painting this. This is multiple people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, and 9 because the person posting it, painting the one painting in 24 hours, collaborating with each other. It was amazing. It was really, really amazing to see, especially because so many of them did not know each other before this thing started. Discord people, is there anybody there that actually participated in the challenge?
We made history, boys.
Yay! Look at that, huh? Like, how many characters you have to paint to make this painting, and it is just 24 hours.
Yeah, and to see how like unified and like detailed and obviously like amazing story, for that to come together in 24 hours, I was actually really mindful. I'm like, this is amazing. And that's kind of what it's about in the industry as well, like working together as a team, trying to make it like all like look like it's done by one person. So yeah, good job everyone. And yeah, it was so hard to judge for sure. I helped with the judging for the winner, but it's just like so inspiring to see that like multiple people getting together and doing this thing, especially like during quarantine where we lost that whole like connection in the past 9 months, but now to be able to do something like this again, it really like I hope that people enjoyed it as much as we did, and maybe in the future we'll have a bit more of these challenges.
Would love to, right? It was so inspiring, so much fun. And here's the winner, by the way. This winning group will be painting with us. They're gonna get a real nice, sweet spotlight on Lightbox Expo social media everywhere today as well, later today. And this is the beautiful image that they created together. Oh my goodness. I heard one person was from, where were all the different people from? Does anybody remember? I don't want to get it wrong. I remember Vietnam was in there.
Yeah, it was Colombia, Vietnam, Switzerland, and the US.
Wow. And only 2 people actually knew each other before this event, right? Well, that's what I heard anyway.
Yes, Bobby. A lot of the groups were made in the spot.
Awesome.
But as well, a lot of groups were a lot of friends that worked together.
Yeah, so all of these people, these were the teammates from all over the world. They will be invited to paint with Masay and I to do a collaboration with us as well in the new year. So look out for that. But congratulations to all the winners. Really awesome, inspiring job. Oh, I also want to mention Slido. If you want to ask any questions and you're not in Discord, you could go to slido.com and hashtag ChewStream, and you can ask your questions there. And I think, now that we got all of the housekeeping out of the way here, we could probably go to some questions ourselves in Discord. Does anybody have any questions for Fernando here? Or any of us? Or about
sorry.
Keanu Reeves?
I was muted. I want to say, hey, Fernando. Hope you're doing good. And welcome.
Gracias.
it's so nice. I remember when we did before the drawing, Fernando stayed with us for so long, just drawing with us. I just want to thank him. It was very nice.
Awesome. Yeah, we actually painted everything. Was it the first time? I forget how many times we painted. I remember we had some technical difficulties, but the first time it was like you had to paint and you had to answer everybody's questions at the same time, Fernando. Must have been difficult.
Sí, o sea, creo que fue lo más difícil de esa sesión, el hablar y dibujar al mismo tiempo.
Oh, can you
Yeah, I
mute?
would say that the hardest part in the whole thing was actually drawing and answering the question at the same time.
And would you be able to mute
Yeah.
Zoom, by the way? So that we only have Discord?
Bobby, I think you're able to mute Fernando. From
Oh,
your
okay,
side.
okay, let me try. Okay, awesome.
Sí,
Yeah.
de todos modos ya quité
Perfect.
el micrófono.
Yeah, either way, I'll already take off the mic.
Oh, okay, no
No.
problem, no problem.
It's perfect.
All right.
But yeah, that I was thinking like, oh man, Fernando, like I feel bad that like all the like you also the best part about us like recording and talking later on is that we can actually focus on the question and answer with a good answer. But yeah, I mean, Fernando, I think that you still did an awesome job like the first time we did the recording. So to be able to see you like fully focused on this one, yeah, is really cool to see it like all come together.
Sí, porque aparte era la primera vez que hacía un stream, entonces no tenía la menor idea de qué tan rápido tenía que dibujar.
Yeah, also it was the first time I've ever done a stream, so it was kind of hard to actually just have an idea of how much time I have to draw.
Well, you did a great job. It's not easy. It's not easy. Especially because this isn't how you usually work. You usually work in Photoshop, yes?
Sí, normalmente utilizo Photoshop y voy a un ritmo mucho más lento, entonces tuve que adaptarme a hora y media lo que haría normalmente en 3-4 horas.
Yeah, usually I do work in Photoshop, and a lot of times I do take more time. And this time I have to do what I will take almost half of a day in just 30 minutes. So.
Well, then you could get so much more work done, maybe. But yeah, your artwork on your Instagram, on your ArtStation, it's really beautiful. What other things do you use in Photoshop besides just painting that was missing here, in your process here, like adjustment layers or something like that?
No, digamos, la forma en que trabajo es normalmente en 1 o 2 capas. Utilizo poco lo que son filtros. La mayoría es pintar, nada más.
And no, actually, I do work with really few layers, almost usually just 2, and try to avoid filters.
Oh, perfect. Then yeah, it's just a matter of time then. That's what you really needed here. But you did a great job. I haven't even started on Keanu yet. Hey, by the way, I want to mention something, if that's all right. I want to mention that we have a brand new class on Schoolism today, which, has been happening more and more these days. But this one, I cannot wait to show Masay this one. This one's going to be awesome. It's Gonzalo Carcamo. Dun, 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 dun. I'll mute his sound here, but Gonzalo Carcamo is the watercolor he's like the water bender when you talk about watercolor, and he puts everybody through exercises, simple or seemingly simple exercises for watercolors that will just make your skills just transform by the end of it. He goes through all these different techniques, and as you can see, he really goes through a lot of different subjects as well as basics, all the way through. So this is brand new on Schoolism right now. And the other thing is that currently we actually do have a really awesome winter sale happening right now, where you can save $100 off an annual subscription to this course, and once you subscribe to any course, you get every other course along with it, kind of like Netflix for artists, right? So all you need to do is go to schoolism.com, and you would just click on the little banner here. Once you sign up, then you have access to all of the courses, every single one. We are up to past 40 courses now, 40 complete courses on Schoolism.
Wow.
Right? And that's been pretty insane, because this year we've added like 10, 11 courses, including Ian McKeag, including all of these. So $100 off a $300 product is a very, very good deal. So I really encourage everybody to get on that.
Wow, that's a lot. We're gonna need more time to watch.
I know. I want to do those ones in the artist workout, or the 90-minute. I want to do like some watercolor 90-minute art challenges. I know we talked with Iris Compete about doing a stream with us, right?
Yeah. Oh, that would be really cool.
Maybe, it'll take a little bit more time, a little bit more effort, but maybe we could all set up our cameras or phones or whatever and just record 90 minutes watercolor.
Ooh, that's gonna be a tough one. Definitely a challenge.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, that's how we learn, right? Just doing challenges.
Yeah.
Challenging ourselves.
Fernando, do you use any other mediums to do your art as well? Like oil, watercolor?
Sí, he usado, bueno, empecé en tradicional, tengo 5 años, aproximadamente un poco más, que hago digital. Entonces empecé por lápices de colores, grafito, y de ahí pasé a lo que sería acuarela. Óleo no lo he hecho tanto, pero vinil sí lo he trabajado.
And yeah, I actually started original. I just translated to digital art 5 years ago. But I started with the most basic tools and slowly translated into watercolor and a little bit of oil painting.
How did you learn how to do characters?
Eso tiene alrededor de 5 años que empecé. Empecé gracias a Facebook. Vi un grupo que se llama Caricatumanía, creo, 3000, algo así. Y de ahí fue donde empecé a ver lo que son caricaturas. Me llamó la atención y fue cuando decidí entrar a participar ahí.
And I started 5 years ago in a Facebook group where they were just posting caricatures of people, Caricatumania, and I just started posting and sharing my work there.
Y después, primero el primer grupo se llama Caricaturama. Ahí vi el trabajo de muchos otros, como Jason Styler, y entre algunos otros que incluso después encontré en las clases en Schoolism. Entonces, de ahí también pasé a otro grupo que se llama Caricatumanía, igual en el mismo Facebook.
And I started sharing in the first group, Caricatumania, mania, where I started seeing a lot of other people's work, and after that, I started sharing with other groups as well.
Well, that's fantastic.
Wow. And yeah, and the quality of work is just it's really crazy and amazing to see, and to digital paint from 5 years, like starting 5 years ago. Yeah.
Lo difícil de este reto fue que no solo tenía que hacer la pintura, sino que tenía que a la vez hacer la caricatura sin un previo sketch. Eso también me costó más trabajo.
The hardest part for me for this challenge was actually not having any warm up and just going straight to painting and not a lot of sketching beforehand.
What is the warm up like? Like, can you describe it, Fernando?
Thumbnail, hacer thumbnails para ver primero cuál es el que me convence más, y de ahí tomar ese como referencia para basarme y hacer la caricatura.
Usually a lot of thumbnailing, and when I finish a lot of thumbnails, I usually just pick the ones I like as a base for the whole painting.
And then do you enlarge the thumbnail or do you draw it over?
Sí, lo agrando y ya después de ahí trabajo sobre eso.
I do enlarge it.
Oh, okay. And then is it straight to color? Is it monochromatic first and then to color?
Normalmente empiezo en valores tonales y de ahí paso a color.
No, I first go with values, tonal values, and then I go to color.
Oh, okay. And so it's pretty much grayscale or monochromatic in the beginning.
Sí, depende mucho del tiempo que tenga. A veces voy directo a color.
Yeah, it depends sometimes. It depends of the time a lot of sometimes. If I'm short of time, I usually just go straight to color.
Well, yeah. This one, we're all short on time, so we all go straight to color, of course. And
I mean, in the end. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, for in the end, Fernando's looks like, amazing, and I love the way he caricatured him. And even though you were saying that, like, usually you do a lot of thumbnails in the beginning to get like the perfect one that you like, I think it kind of goes to show, like, because you've been doing this for so long, like, there is a part where it kind of naturally comes to you. So when you did it in the first go, it still looked like Keanu. So that's really cool to see that, and cool to hear that this was like, a bit different from how you normally streamline your caricatures.
Yeah, we
But
really
yeah,
appreciate
sorry.
No, I really appreciate seeing this as well. Seeing the, like the raw stuff before the polished stuff.
Yeah.
That's what we like to do here. We like to just show everybody our worst procedures, our very beginning.
Our struggles.
I had a question.
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby. Hey, everybody. Fernando, really, I'm enjoying looking at all of your caricature work here. And I kind of wanted to know, as far as your process of how do you go about what part of the face itself to exaggerate versus another? And why would you make that decision? And kind of just keeping in the same look of your picture, so that way it stays and it's recognizable, obviously, at the end. But the features that you choose, I'm just kind of curious in your process of how you choose those particular features.
No tengo una línea en especial para seguir qué voy a exagerar. Normalmente siempre hay partes del rostro que caracterizan a cada persona. Entonces, eso lo único que hago es enfatizar eso. ¿Qué es lo que hace a la persona distinguirse de las demás? Por ejemplo, digamos, en este caso con Kenny Reeves, no tiene unas características que lo haga distinguirse tanto. Entonces es un poco más difícil. En este caso yo creo que serían los ojos lo que más lo distinguen, más allá de otra cosa.
I wouldn't say that I have a specific line of which how to pick what to caricaturize. And it depends on people from person to person. And in the case of Keanu Reeves, I choose his eyes. His eyes, in my opinion, are one of the things that are more characteristics of him. So I try to accentuate that. As I say, it depends of person to person, and a lot of the features that are more characteristic of that person are the ones that I decide to exaggerate more.
Pero todo
Got it.
tiene
Thank
que
you.
ser en un balance, o sea, no, la idea no es nada más si tiene una nariz más grande, hacer solo la nariz más grande, sino que todo tiene que tener una armonía a la hora de hacer el dibujo.
There's still a balance, though. It is not only because this person has a big nose, I'm just gonna exaggerate the nose and nothing else. There's a balance that you have to do when characterizing and exaggerating one piece. Everything has to go with value with that thing that you exaggerate.
Understood. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You know, you almost get into kind of like a mode when you start to caricature a lot, right? Like you look at everything and then you translate it in your head and you go, okay, what kind of shape can I make that will make it still very much feel like the thing that you're painting, right? And that's what, Fernando, I'm sure that's what you've been doing these last 5 years, is really making that ability stronger and stronger.
Sí, de hecho, como lo dices, tu mente empieza a trabajar en ver si son, digamos, ya hasta inconscientemente, cuáles son lo que distingue cada rostro.
Yeah, actually, and with the time, your mind just naturally starts just to focus and deciding what is the thing that defines a face.
That's great. Do you ever caricature people live where they're in front of you and then afterwards you have to show them the drawing of them?
No, en vivo no he trabajado, es otro, digamos que es como decir no sé, hacer siempre dibujo en vivo es otra disciplina. O sea, parece que es similar, pero no lo es.
No, actually, and drawing live does require a different set of study. It's actually quite different than doing just the caricatures that I do.
Normalmente se utiliza mucho más línea para hacerlo en vivo.
It usually requires a lot more line work to make it live. And Fernando, you do more painting, right?
Sí.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen the people doing stuff, live on the streets of New York and things like that. Usually, the drawings that they post up are not theirs, and doesn't look like the characters that you get from them. I remember walking down the street and there was like we started to see, oh, that's Joe Bloom's character. Oh, that one looks like Steven Silver's character. Oh, that one's Sebastian Kruger's character. And everybody just displays them as their own.
Sí, normalmente cuando es en vivo tienden a exagerar mucho más. O sea, es un tipo de caricatura mucho más exagerada. Sobre todo en los parques, en los, no sé, como en Universal Studios, y tienen como un estilo mucho más exagerado.
Yeah, when they're done live, they usually are more exaggerated, and even more so than in parks and stuff. They usually that you see ones that you see there, they're way more exaggerated than the ones that I do.
and Discord community, totally feel free to jump in on this conversation here. You know, I see a whole bunch of you, so don't be shy. Whatever you want to say. All right. While they start to gather their thoughts and perhaps gather their questions, we can go to Slido, okay? In Slido, there's a bunch of questions. You could go to slido.com, #ChewStream, ask your question there. So this one is from Anonymous. How long usually art directors give the time to concept artists doing their concept artwork? Do concept artists allow to set time on their own? Yeah, that's a really good question. I think most of the time, the producer, the director, whoever asks you, how do you work? Right? That's almost always a question that they ask, because everybody generally works differently. So that's your opportunity to tell them, okay, this is how I work, and this is the amount of time I need to do something good. And that's the time that you really need to, I think that's the question that you really need to prepare, because if you're like most people, you might tend to say less time than you actually need. Oh yeah, I could finish that in 2 days, when it actually takes you 4 days, because you don't want to disappoint anybody and things like that. But at the same time, now you're setting expectations, which you might not meet. So just be careful of that. Masay, do you have anything that you want to add to that?
I'm just thinking, I wonder if it's a bit different for people who work in studios, because Bobby, you and I, like, we do freelance work for concepts. So we're like, we say like how much time we usually spend for each stage, and like how long it will take to come up with like a final design. So I'm just wondering, like, I wonder if like in studio is a bit different, like if they have a shorter amount of time or longer, because it seems like they would be the ones to set that time slot.
I wonder. I feel like it's different with every production, and I feel like some directors, they will just keep exploring until they have no more money. Yeah.
Could I, sorry, comment?
Yeah, sure.
I work in a studio, animation studio, and sometimes we do like concept art, and we do concept art and character design, and the time is way less. Like, I don't know if it's because we're a smaller studio and we do have to take on like more jobs and stuff like that, but it's more of the producer tells you this needs to be done by then, and you do what you can in that amount of time. And I don't know, with us, we've had a lot of we had a lot of the clients involved like the next day or what, and then they make changes, and those changes have to be done like in half a day. I work for TV as well, and that's contributing as well, because I think in film it would probably be a bit different. But yeah, with us, it's no time at all half the time, and you got to make like snap decisions.
I remember, seeing a project, being on a project, and then one person was from commercials. This is the person's first experience working on a feature film, and it's like, all right, let's finish all the characters this week, done. Let's go on to some animating next week. And everybody's like, whoa, take it easy, commercial guy. This is feature. We take it easy here. We really explore and keep exploring until the director goes, all right, we're good, next thing.
Yeah, for sure.
What
So like, I wish we were like that.
Oh, okay. So what kind of stuff do you usually do?
We do stuff for TV. We've done stuff for Cartoon Network Africa and Nickelodeon.
Right on.
So like, those are like, say for example, more of your like high price clients. So you do get like a more time. So for your main characters, you'll get like 2 weeks. Like probably, okay, so there will be someone working in the background for a while on exploration, say for a week or so, and then the main character gets taken from exploration into like more just exploration and then clean up. Whereas like side characters, get that done in a day. Extras, even more
Yeah.
maybe, depending. I mean, like, so you'd need like 2 a day maybe. If it's something like a commercial, because sometimes you do need to pick up corporate work, that stuff you do quick. It's like you don't sit there and think, oh, what is the psychology behind this character? You're just like, this looks appealing. It's part of the brand. There you go. It's just not fun, but pays the bills.
Also, in like I think I maybe worked in one commercial, so I can't really speak on that. But television, there's a lot less scrutiny for sure on designs. Like sometimes a design for feature could take you like months, like 6 months, 9 months for one character, which I don't know how well you're spending your money at that point, but
Mhm.
yeah, that's the reality.
I'm kind of curious how it is with caricaturing, Fernando. Is there like, I mean, I guess there's, depending on the client, it does, like the timeline differs, but what's like the average amount of time that they give you?
Normalmente, bueno, varía mucho porque hay, no sé, hay algunos trabajos que son de solo una persona que puedo tardarme 2 días, pero hay otros que son de un conjunto de personas que puedo tardarme hasta 15 días.
Well, it does depend because sometimes there are different kinds of work, and one day it can be just a project for myself that I can, where it's only me, and it can take 2 days. But other times it's a big group, and it takes more time, to 15 days.
Pero lo que sí cambia mucho es que como, bueno, yo aparte de caricatura me dedico a ilustrar, y lo que estaba oyendo en comparación con los tiempos que hay en lo que es publicidad, se parece mucho a los tiempos que hay para entregar trabajo editorial, que a veces tienes que hacerlo en 2, 3 días, un trabajo que te llevaría una semana.
But besides caricature, I do a lot of illustration work as well, and that is a whole different set of times and that are required, and with a different focus. And a lot of times, works that will be taking me more time just have to be done in 2 days to this stuff.
Wow. And has anybody that you caricatured seen your caricature of them and given like any kind of response?
Que si alguno de los personajes que sí he tenido alguna respuesta de que me han mandado algún mensaje, o que le han puesto like a mi trabajo, pero hasta el momento digamos que la difusión que he tenido relativamente es poca por el tiempo que le he dedicado a estar en Instagram, que es donde más estoy. Tendrá un año y medio que le estoy dedicando mucho más tiempo. Entonces, todo depende también de la difusión que le den a tu trabajo.
Well, yeah, some people have like and share their opinion, but my social media, I haven't been focused that much. I only been doing it for a year now, and it hasn't quite grown as much as you would expect. So yeah, it's important to really focus on how your work is shared and you share it to the world.
Cool.
Sí, porque antes, o sea, tengo mucho más en Instagram, tendré alrededor de 4 años, pero solo publicaba, no sé, una vez al mes. Hace 2 años empecé a hacerlo más regularmente, una vez a la semana, y ahí es cuando he notado que hay mucho mayor respuesta, tanto de las personas que caricaturizo, como en general de las demás, sí, que se han incrementado mis seguidores.
Yeah, when I started before this, I used to just post once a month, and later when I started posting more regularly, once a week or that kind of deal, it started growing more and more and having more response from the people like caricature.
Well, I think it's even, yeah, it's more than the characters. It's the way that you caricature is very special. It's very, I don't know, it just gets to you. Like, people remember the way that you caricature a lot of the people that you do, because you don't use the same formulas, you know, as everybody else. You find your own formula.
Sí, no sé todavía si puedo decir que tengo un estilo, quizás ya lo he empezado a desarrollar, pero esa siempre ha sido mi idea, o sea, hacer algo diferente que no se parezca a lo que ya está.
Well, yeah, I would say that I don't have a specific style that I'm still developing, but that's what I wanted to do. I wanted for people to understand and see a different work, something different that I haven't been seen before.
A lot easier said than done. You know, I was showing earlier, I was showing a caricature that you did of Lucy Liu, who is known to be a pretty person, you know, an attractive person. Those are the hardest people to caricature, is the attractive people for me, because they don't have a big nose, they don't have these big glasses and things like that stand out.
Sí, entre más simétrico sea el rostro es mucho más difícil caricaturizar. Y en el caso de mujeres, entre más atractivas sean, también es mucho más difícil hacer una caricatura de ellas.
Yeah, the problem with that is the symmetry. The more symmetry there is in the face, the more hard it is to caricature. Yeah, a lot of times with women, when women are really pretty, and it's really hard to caricaturize them.
For sure. I just want to put up some of these hilarious characters that you have here. Jeez.
That's so good.
Johnny Depp as a... This is like young Johnny Depp, right? Younger, I think. This one was from the 90-minute art challenge. This is when I was like, oh my god, what? Who? Oh my gosh. Another great one.
Oh, that's so good.
See, Sean Penn, a little easier to caricature, you know, because he has the big nose and, you know, the wrinkles and things. But then Natalie Portman, much harder to caricature, right? Much, much harder. It's very cool. Bruce Willis, I've never seen a Bruce Willis like this. That looks traditional almost. You know, if somebody told me that was traditional, I might just believe them. Oh my god, that's so funny.
Sí, es algo que muchas veces me preguntan si es tradicional o digital.
Yeah, I do get asked that a lot, if it is traditional or digital.
Well, yeah, and you were saying that, oh, Salma Hayek, that's so funny. That's so great. Because she's caricatured, yet she's still pretty, right? It's not like you made fun of her to this point where she's ugly or something. Like, she still looks pretty there. And she's caricatured, which is very difficult. This one, holy smokes. So good.
I think another thing that I also enjoy about Fernando's painting is like it's caricatured, but then you got like really amazing, like the hair looks like it's from a photo, like the skin texture is like, and the lighting, it's like still believable, like really believable, which I think is like my favorite part about all your caricatures.
Sí, es algo en lo que me enfoco mucho porque yo empecé haciendo retrato. Entonces fue trasladar todos esos conocimientos que tengo a la caricatura.
This
Yeah,
one's
it's something
so
that I
funny.
do focus a lot because I started making just portraits. And I just took that and tried to translate it to what I do now.
That's great. All right, so yeah, and also, hey, Discord community, feel free to jump in and join in on the conversation here.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Sorry, me again. This is also, this goes into like when you're creating a portfolio, and like say, for example, you're into illustration or you're into character design. Okay, sorry for the portfolio things. Sorry, I speak a bit like weirdly sometimes. When you're training, so like I'm interested in character design, but like now I'm spending so much time on painting and like I'm worried, I'm gonna lose what I have in character design. But then I come back and I'm like, oh, actually that's taught me something about character design in a weird way. And I always thought, oh no, you don't want to be a jack of all trades. You want to specify in something. I mean, what is the relationship in your guys' opinion to, how everything is interlinked in a way, from like finding the psychology of a character, the shape language, then to like painting, which is more like illustration. Do you guys find that there's a link, or that you should rather specify into something?
Masay, do you want to, or I don't know, I could give my thoughts, but I always got thoughts.
Yeah. you can go, Bobby.
I think, like, hey, people say don't be a jack of all trades because then they also end that sentence with, and, a master of none, right? But if you are a jack of all trades and master of all, then that is the ultimate. Then you're James Cameron and you can make your own movies. If you had your own, all the time in the world, you can make everything and just do it yourself. Yeah, I do say that though. I'm like, don't be a jack of all trades, but instead concentrate on one thing, get really good at it, and then go to another thing, and then get really good at that, and then go to another and another, and you'll see that, yeah, they all do relate at the highest level of anything. One person's a butcher, one one person's the best butcher in the world, one person's the best dancer in the world. I guarantee you, they will be able to have conversations where things relate. Yeah, that's what I believe. So be really good at that one thing and then go to another thing, get really good at that. Sorry, Fernando, you want to mention something?
Lo que yo diría es que no te daña saber más. Yo creo que en este campo nunca terminas de aprender. Yo pienso que, por ejemplo, en mi caso, ahorita estoy aprendiendo 3D porque es algo que me puede ayudar para futuros proyectos. Entonces, creo que siempre estar en búsqueda de más conocimiento es algo que te va a ayudar siempre a estar con esa sed de querer aprender más. Y esa es la única forma, yo creo, en que siempre vas a estar actualizado y vas a ser alguien que puede ser contratado más fácilmente.
I do believe that you never stop learning. Right now I'm starting to learn 3D, and in this field you want to keep growing. You have to keep learning and keep adding, and that's how you grow in the industry. Just keep at it.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Thanks so much. It's been a worry.
Yeah, I was actually having this conversation with with somebody that'll be in an interview in a couple weeks or whatever. But yeah, we were talking about like the highest level of everything is kind of like a mind game. The mind and communication become so much more important. I don't know, just random little thought here that might help to contribute to that last question. Anything else? Anybody else want to chime in with anything?
Hi, here's Anastasia. I would have a question, but in a different field. When like you get or if you get some commissions in Instagram or social media, and it's mostly private person or like something unknown, how to go about? Because I really don't know how should I react and what should I ask to be sure or on the safe side of things. Do you have any tips?
What are they messaging you, for example?
If they can, like, they know, for example, they're doing a book or something publishing, and they want to like a cover, for example, or just a commission. But that's all. And I'm always trying to figure out like what is their intention or what are they expecting. I'm just a bit lost every time.
Well, know that it's very reasonable to ask for like at least a portion of the payment before you start. And I think that'll determine if they're serious or not.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, I when there's commissions, I generally ask for like the first payment, which is like half the payment first. Yeah, just so like they're committed and then I'm committed.
Sí, en mi caso siempre pido el 60% por adelantado.
Yeah, usually in my cases, I ask for 60% in advance.
Oh, 60%. Wow. I remember in the very beginning, I would ask for 1/3, and then in the middle, I would ask for another third, because you could usually get to the middle of a project, and then at that point, I would have most of their money, and then they'll have more reason to finish the project. You know,
Yo antes hacía lo mismo, pero me doy cuenta que cuando pido el 60, ahí sí no dudan en pagarme lo que resta.
I used to do the same, but when I started asking for the 60, and then I make sure that they finish the thing and pay me the rest.
Right on. Yeah.
Another thing that I've learned about commission is also depending on what kind of project it is, I think it's important to adjust the price as well, because like let's just say it's something for like someone's brand that you want, like they want you to make a character. It's like, for me, I think like, okay, how many times are they going to use this? Like, are they going to use it for the brochures and like the website and all that? So it's like, it does change how much I want to charge. But if it's like a family portrait, then that's like a bit different from commercial use. So I guess yes, you have to think of that part when you're taking on commissions as well. It's like, what's it used for? What's the purpose? And how much are they going to use, you know, that asset, I guess.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, that's a great point. Sometimes I don't even charge, because like I remember it was for the Red Cross in Australia. You know, it's like a big benefit, and everybody that's coming is they're paying, and the money goes to charity, that kind of thing. And it was really expensive to get in there, so I was like, they were like, well, this is for charity, how much do you want to charge? I was like, just take it for free, you know, put my name on there. And they printed out these giant banners that were like, you know, I don't even know, it looked like 60 feet tall kind of thing, giant banners, and then they had my name on there as well, you know, and that turned out to be a good trade. So you never know, you could kind of be clever with this sometimes too. Sometimes I said, you know, this is in the beginning when I get clients that have no money. That's why I asked for the 1/3 in the front instead of 60%, right? Because they got no money. And I remember there were times where it's like, oh, can you do a logo for me or something? But they have no money. So then I say, okay, yeah, I'll do the logo for you. And you can keep this logo for 2 years. And then after the 2 years, then if you still want the logo, then you pay me this. Right? So then I do the logo for real cheap. And then 2 years time, they've been using the logo for their business. And now they've had time to make some money. And then I come back and go, you still want the logo? Because we signed this thing before saying this is only for 2 years. And now, you know, I've invested in you, believing in you. So now you can pay me the real amount, you know, the full amount instead of that discounted amount. That seemed to work out nicely too. You know,
Sí, pero yo creo que en ese caso también tienes que ponerte a rezar porque el negocio tenga éxito, ¿no? Porque en caso de que no lo tenga, no vas a cobrar ese dinero.
Yeah, but in those cases, you really want to pray for the whole project to have a success, because if it doesn't, that will become an issue after.
Yes. Well, this is during a time where you have no jobs. You know, you look around and you got nothing to do. And the only jobs are these very small jobs. So you try to grow your portfolio. At the same time, you hope to get paid.
Ah, sí. Yo empecé en diseño gráfico y lo que hacía era imprimir volantes y los repartía por toda la colonia. Y así también empecé a hacer clientes. Entonces hice lo que es estar de cliente en cliente y viendo de uno en uno.
And well, yeah, I started with the graphic design, and I did a lot of all these papers and started flyers, and started to sharing them across my county. And that's how I started getting clients, because they started remembering and recognizing my work.
Oh, that's fantastic. Right on.
Like a door-to-door salesman, artist.
All right, and then here's another question here in Slido. Coffee tea. What are your views about chasing quality over chasing job opportunities? So job applications are good, but the quality of your work is paramount. I don't know if this question is kind of fully fleshed out here. But one thing that people may face when they start off is, well, I'm only getting paid like $100 for this, right? And I have to work so much to do a good job. Well, I'm not gonna do that much time. I'm just gonna do like I'm gonna do the hour of work, and it's gonna look bad. I'm gonna give it to them because that's what they paid for. They paid for a very, they only gave like $10 or something. I actually don't agree with that. There's many different ways to do things, so I'd love to hear everybody's kind of point of view. But the way that I did things was, okay, if you caught me in the beginning, you're lucky, because I'm going to do such a good job for you for that $10, $20, whatever it was. And then I will never do a job that cheap again, because now I have a commercially done piece for a client and it looks like this, right? And I could show the next person, yeah, you want this, well, now the price is this, right? And so on and so forth. So I don't know, but there's many different ways to do things.
Sí, pues, bueno, desde mi punto de vista puedes enfocarlo como si fuera piezas para tu portafolio. Quizás al principio cobras menos, pero una vez que ya las tienes hechas, vas ajustando los precios.
Well, from my point of view, you can adjust and you can adjust yourself to making a portfolio development. But when you're done with that, you can focus more on the payment.
Yeah. Oh, there's no one way to do things, so I totally agree with that as well. Here's something I wrote down a couple little talking points here that we could, kind of discuss. The first one I wrote down here is doing is not the same as getting things done. You like that one, Masay? Doing is not the same as getting things done. And what I mean by this is lots of people, they say, I do a lot. I paint this, I do this, but do they get anything actually done?
It's like that saying. It's like because you're busy doesn't mean you're. I forgot the saying, but it's like just because you're busy doesn't mean that you're actually being productive.
Right.
Yeah.
Sí, lo que entiendo, bueno, esto desde el punto de vista de estudiar, no porque estés sentado 30 horas quiere decir que lo estés haciendo bien. Indica más en cómo estés enfocado en prepararte, y de ahí es donde vas a obtener los mejores resultados.
Yeah, from a student way of viewing it, and the fact that you're sitting on working on for 30 minutes doesn't mean that you are having any progress with the work that you're doing. And it's more of what you're focusing on and how you are progressing through it.
Anybody on Discord want to add their 2 cents? I got a few things I wrote down, so this is the first one.
Arya called me out.
Hey,
Can
Bobby.
I go?
Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
It's TC. I just wanted to agree with what you're saying there about not actually getting anything done. I've been on the Discord now for about 2 or 3 weeks, and I used to just jump on and just sketch aimlessly. I had no purpose of what I was doing, but I just wanted to draw. And getting on here and seeing people do their studies and actually completing things and using their time wisely, that's really helped me to progress, along with these 90-minute challenges and getting some studies in. And I agree with what you're saying.
Fantastic. I actually love the 90-minute challenges because of that. Like, you're always getting stuff done. You're getting stuff done in 90 minutes, right? And then you have the rest of your day to finish other stuff. All right. Well, that was the first one. You want to hear another one? So here's the second one. The second one is people's choices and attitudes actually make up 80% of their talent. People's choices and attitudes make up 80% of their talent.
That's interesting. What? Huh. I'm very curious. What is the reasoning behind that?
Well, because their choices and attitudes. So first, the choices. That's a huge one. Like, what are you doing with your time? What are you doing with your effort? How are you actually painting and drawing? Are you just doodling, like what we were just saying, or are you practicing, like what we've been doing, Masay? And like, the difference is tremendous. I was still painting and drawing. We were all painting and drawing probably the same amount of time, right? But this last bunch of weeks, we've been painting and drawing during these times for a specific purpose. And the choice to spend your time, spend your finite, amount of time allocating a bunch of it to getting better, to studying, as opposed to earning money. actually helps us to gain more talent and be able to, you know, make a better living. And then the other part is the attitude. Because there's so many times where you have the wrong attitude, it changes your outcome. It changes how you tackle the painting. It changes if you are still gonna paint or if you're gonna go and sleep, you know, and try to forget about the day because you had a bad day or something.
Right, yeah.
The 80%
Sí, yo
is
creo,
really a number I just made up, but
sí, como mencionas, creo que la actitud hace totalmente la diferencia, no solo en pintar, en dibujar, sino en la vida en general. El cómo enfocas las cosas y el cómo las aborda cuenta mucho.
Yeah, and not only adding to an art, but in life itself. Not only how you view stuff, how you tackle them, how you interpret them. It really affects all the outcomes. So it's a really life advice in that way.
Yeah, I think attitude is a pretty key word because it's like, yeah, depending on how you look at it, it will result in, you'll have like different results. And if you have a good attitude, then it's like you're going to keep going. And then once you keep going, you're going to get better. And then that's where like the quote unquote talent comes from. So yeah, I really like that quote.
Bobby, if I
Yeah.
can just add one thing to
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That phrase, it reminded me of a situation in which this person made all the right choices but took the wrong attitude, and she got an interview with Disney Animation TV, and she wanted to work there. She focused so much work, made the contacts, got the interview. She went to the interview, but she didn't have the right attitude, because they didn't give her the job that she always wanted. She wanted to direct the show from the start. She wanted her show, her control, a lot of liberties, because she thought she'd earn it. But her attitude, the way she interacted with the people, wasn't the best one, and that affected all the outcome. No matter how much talent that she had, she didn't have the right attitude. I don't know if that is audible with what you're thinking of the phrase.
Who? What?
I don't know if that applies with what you were saying.
Oh yeah. No, it totally does. It totally does. I can. There's so many times where it's like, you know, I get beaten down for no good reason. Not physically, but you know, something bad luck kind of happens or whatever, and I've been trying hard, you know, and that happens to all of us when you're trying real hard, you're doing everything right, and still life throws a big piece of crap in your face, and you're just like, why? I was just helping all these people. I was just doing all these things. I was working so hard. But I kid you not, those are the times when you have every reason to lash out, to be upset, to be angry, to give up, to just put everything away and go screw it. Those times when you have every reason to do that, but you don't, and you have a good attitude and you go, no, this isn't what it's about. This is a test. Life is just testing me. I'm going to put a big smile on my face. I'm going to keep going. Those are the times where life has always rewarded me the most. And it's like out of nowhere half the time. Right? It comes sometimes in cosmic ways. I swear, it's weird, but it's something I completely 100% believe in. And if another bad thing happens, it just means if you stay still positive, then a really good thing is gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And yeah. It's just what I believe.
Sí, yo creo que la palabra clave es resiliencia. Y de ahí depende también mucho de tu actitud, qué tan seguro estés de lo que... Primero, ser muy... es difícil ser objetivo, pero ponerte metas de ver resultados. porque también puedes estar haciendo un trabajo que no te va a dar fruto. Entonces también tienes que estar enfocado y saber qué es lo que quieres, si tienes las herramientas y si puedes alcanzar eso que quieres. Ser realista en eso.
Fernando, ¿podés repetir la palabra clave?
Es resiliencia.
I don't know the word. No sé cómo trasladar eso en inglés. Sorry. And residency. Sorry. It comes down to really working and finding the how would you translate, because it's a specific word that Fernando uses, and I'm not sure if there's a proper translation. Residency to the outcome of the work that you do in when you finish the job, the kind of way for you to take the most out of it, even in the end of after all that came through it. I think it's the way to translate it, Fernando. It comes down to really working.
Just working. Okay, awesome. Was there anything else?
Yo creo que más que
the outcome
trabajar,
of the work that you do in when you.
Yo creo que más que trabajar es hacerlo con un objetivo, o sea, sí tener un objetivo claro, porque si no también puedes perder el tiempo haciendo cosas que no te van a dar ningún resultado.
It's important to have a clear objective, because if you don't have that, you won't have a clear result in the end.
No, totally. But it's also the attitude that plays a big part if you're going to achieve that goal or not as well. And it really can change things.
Yeah. I don't know if this is a tangent or anything, but when Nico was talking about like having good work, but then the attitude wasn't there, and then the person couldn't get a job, I was just thinking, this is just me personally, but I find it interesting that even when there's an artist that has like really amazing work, but then you hear about like these really bad things about the person, where they're just not a really good person and they just don't have a good attitude towards things. The way I see their artwork kind of changes in a negative way. I don't know about you guys, but it's just like interesting to me how like it's like actors as well. It's like no matter how amazing of an actor they are, if they're to the core not a really good person, it just makes me like look at their craft differently.
That's why I loved Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. He's a good person. You can't help but love him more. So it's like the same as art. It's like if someone has like really amazing attitude, you can't help but like also love their work equally. So I just think that attitude does really play a big part, especially in the industry, working with like other people.
Es que no sé, yo creo que es diferente ahora con las redes sociales, te puedes dar cuenta de más cosas. Pero, por ejemplo, yo sabía que Leonardo da Vinci quedó a deber trabajo a todos los lugares que fue, y que como persona no era la mejor persona, pero su trabajo es tan sobresaliente que es difícil juzgarlo por eso.
Yeah, for example, Leonardo da Vinci, recognized for his amazing work. He worked in so many places, but he didn't have the best reputation when it comes to his personality. So, but his work was so amazing that excelled all of that in that time.
Mm-hmm.
So...
It really depends. That's me personally.
So I guess, yeah, if you're Leonardo da Vinci, then hey, screw everybody. But if you're not, then be nice. And hey, if Leonardo da Vinci was a nice guy, oh my gosh, I'm sure he would be even more well-known and well-loved and all that good stuff too.
Yo creo que hoy cuenta más por las redes sociales, o sea, es más fácil darse cuenta de cómo es cada persona, pero creo que en esos tiempos es muy difícil saber cómo eran los pintores.
I mean, nowadays you can really tell a lot about a person thanks to social media and the way that you can share information with people now. But in that time, maybe who knows? Maybe people like him. It wasn't that well known
Yeah.
how his personality was.
Well, yeah. With the amount of connectedness we have with one another these days, a pleasing personality is far more important than we think. Right? And especially, the people that act all crazy, like, we're all watching. Even though we don't comment, some of us do, some of us retweet and jump in the mix and, whatever. But people like me, I do see it. I'm shocked by it, and I just don't comment. Like people with bad attitudes, why would I want to converse with them? But do I see them? Yes, I see them. And does that affect how I would want to interact with them in the future? Yeah, it does, 100%. There are artists out there that are so awesome and that I would not want anything to do with because of the attitude that I've heard, or like their behavior and things like that. It's definitely not everything, just your art. There's some artists that I would never, like, I've been on a trip with them before and that was it. After that, I do not want to go on another trip with them, ever. And if they had a different attitude, how perhaps their lives could have changed? I really wonder, because it would have changed with me. How many other people would it have changed with? And then all these new opportunities. Also, the whole entire idea of, if it went well with me, hey, later on, I think of that person as I'm starting to talk about some other stuff with another person, and then that person that I liked with that attitude, that good attitude, now gets 2 opportunities because of the other person that I know, right? And so on and so forth. It could either spread really well or really badly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess you could say it all came down to your choices and your attitude.
Yes.
100%, yeah. Like, do
Yeah.
I want to hang out with this person? Really? Like, I do a lot of workshops or whatever, like traveling around to all sorts of different places in the world. But do I want to travel with somebody with a bad attitude? No, I don't. I don't care if that person will sell 1 million tickets. I don't want to be on the same plane with that person. Like, I have a happy life. I don't need that shit. Yeah. So some good little talking points here, right?
Yeah.
Here's another one, which is very related. So how you deal with failure will determine how successful you will become. So not talking about attitudes now, talking about dealing with failure. How you deal with failure will determine a big part of how successful you will become. Any thoughts about that?
Sí, yo creo que de alguna forma, entre más dificultades tengas para llegar a tus objetivos, te hace valorar más las cosas.
Yeah, I believe the more.
Y te hace esforzarte todavía más.
Yeah, I believe the more challenges you have in your way for what you want, and the more thankful you will be, and the more you will feel rewarded when you get it.
Yes, but and challenges here, we're talking about failures. That's the big challenge. Like, you tried to do this, you tried to get this, and then you couldn't. And how you end up dealing with that will determine how successful you'll become later on.
Yeah. And I guess if there's like you face some sort of failure and then you stop there, that's it. It's just you're not gonna go, like, you're not gonna step forward. You're just gonna be like stagnant. So I think being able to learn how to get, learn from the experience, take what you can with it and go forward with it. I think that's the path to becoming more successful. Yeah.
Sí, yo creo que eso prueba nada más tu carácter, o sea, también prueba qué tan determinado estás a hacer las cosas.
And your attitude at the end, it really defines how much you really want the things in the end.
I've told this story before, but I don't care. It's a really good story. It's about Masay, how awesome her attitude is. In the very, very beginning, we were taking co-op students, and for some stupid reason or another, I didn't pick Masay. And then later on, I see Masay at another event, and I didn't go up to her. She came up to me for no other reason except to say hi, and had such a pleasant attitude after not getting picked. And that was exactly why we called her back. I was like, yeah, that's a person I could totally hang out with. That's a person I would enjoy putting effort in to helping or teaching whatever I know. Yeah. So big shouts out to Masay.
Yeah, I remember at the time, it's like, it could have gone the complete opposite direction, where it's like, oh, I failed to get the job. But then if I had that mindset of like, oh, Bobby, he doesn't know what he's doing. And if I had that negative attitude, then the next interaction could have been not a pleasant experience, and then that wouldn't have led the opportunity for me to work at Imaginism. So for me, it was like, oh, it does suck that I couldn't get the job, but on the I got to have lunch with Bobby and Kay. I got to see the studio. At least I got that experience, and it sucks, but just seeing it on the bright side is kind of like what made me want to be still a good person when I got to talk to you guys at the convention.
You're awesome. Good on you. Yeah. I also want to mention, for those of you that have kind of followed me along my little adventure for a bit longer, you also know of our friend Peter Chan. Used to be part of the studio, then he went into fine art and all this awesomeness, and he teaches at all these schools, and we still remain best of friends. The way that we got connected to him, because he also was co-op with us. He started off as a co-op student, let's say. I don't even know if you know that. But the way that we got connected with him was he asked to be, to do something with us, co-op or whatever. I politely said no, I don't have time. Then later on, he asked again in a different way. Months pass, he asks again after I said no, which not a lot of people do. And I said no again. I said, no, it's not happening, And then later on, this girl comes over, and she pitches me on Peter Chan at some event or whatever, and how I should take this person, Peter Chan, as a co-op student. So he kept coming back in all sorts of ways, and in the last way, he got his friend at the time to do it for him. And then I was like, wow, this guy is not gonna give up. And he took no with a very positive attitude. All right, let's do this. And again, it's like one of those situations, if you dealt with failure in a different way, or quote unquote failure, because I don't see those things as failure, then then it might not have succeeded. Probably wouldn't have.
Yeah. I didn't know he was co-op at the studio.
Sí, totalmente de acuerdo.
Yeah, totally agree.
You know, here's one that I totally forgot about. So I get tapped on the shoulder to work on Tim Burton's movie, and I'm like, holy smokes, this is amazing, because that was the #1 director in the whole entire world that I wanted to work with. That's what I had in my head. I said, I'm gonna work with Tim Burton one day. I'm gonna work with Tim Burton one day. And then he calls, you know, or his people call. Want you to work on this movie. What movie is this? Oh, he's doing a remake of a Disney classic. Before any of these remakes started coming out, it was Alice in Wonderland, if you don't remember. Right? And so they tell me Alice in Wonderland by Tim Burton, and I was like, oh my God, this is the most magical, the perfect opportunity. I want this so bad. And I did it. Spent 24 hours painting a test for Tim Burton and, you know, the people or whatever, and I handed it in. And then my supervisor says that I was talking to, he's like, Tim didn't like it. Do you want to try it again? I had 0 sleep, 24 hours of 0 sleep. I said, yes, I want to do this again, you know, I will have this for you tomorrow. I spent another 24 hours. I think I slept maybe 2 hours. And I also got Kay to help me because I did not have the strength and I needed something else. I needed something new and fresh and different to come back in a different way. It's not about trying again in the same way all the time. It doesn't work very well, right? And then spent another 24 hours, did another painting, handed it in. This one is by Kay and myself, and then Tim gives us the okay and says yes. Right? Imagine what would happen if we just took failure as a no right in the beginning. Nothing would happen. That's what would happen. All right. So there you go, everybody. There's the challenge for today. I hope everybody had a great time. Fernando Mendez, everybody. Holy smokes. Amazing Keanu Reeves here. An amazing artist. Let me just share one little thing about Fernando here that I saw, and I was like, oh dang, that looks so awesome. Here we go. Boom! Keanu Reeves. So make sure that you follow Fernando on Instagram, and he's on ArtStation as well. Our wonderful guest. Thank you so much, Fernando, for coming in and painting with us.
Thanks so much for having me, and I expect that this is not the last time.
Yes, please. More would be awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah, really brilliant work. Also, I would love to thank everybody in that's been watching YouTube, Discord, Facebook. Thank you to my wonderful assistant, always making sure everybody's taken care of. Jamie, thank you so much, Jamie. The amazing mods in Discord. Yay, mod team, yay. And my co-host, my wonderful co-host, Masei Seki. Thank you, Masei. And, Fernando, one more time. Give it up for Fernando. All right. Take care, everybody, and have a wonderful rest of your day.